Welcome back to the LCS Countdown. Voting gets underway tonight for the End of Split Awards, and for many, the Honda MVP race is now down to just two dudes. It's CoreJJ for Team Liquid, and it's Bjergsen for TSM. So let's get into it. Who are you guys thinking? Let's start with CoreJJ.
I mean, CoreJJ has been incredible all split long. We just saw, going all the way back to that first games in week 1. He was popping off already on Bard. He is so good about setting his team up, roaming all over the map, coordinating with Jensen and Broxa. And I think he's doing things that no other support in the league is doing, which is one of the things I look at for MVP is, could you swap this person out? And I don't think anyone could have gotten the wins for Team Liquid in situations where he was able to do it. You're looking at that C9 game with the Blitzcrank pick, a lot of these different Bard games. He is so good, and if that's not enough, when you take a look at the stats, he's basically leading across the board for support players. I know it's one of those positions that is less stats-driven, but even then, you have to appreciate the fact that he's only had one isolated death while he's pulling off all these roams. You have to appreciate the highest vision score per minute and, the high KDA and all these different things, as well as high 4%, always being aggressive in the lane.
That might actually be the most impressive support stat I've ever seen in this many games. A single isolated death. How many times have we seen supports just get caught out in River when teams are warding and just die and lose the team everything? One is just bonkers.
Especially with how often this guy's roaming around the map.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, let's talk about his opponent, Bjergsen. What do you think, Crumbs?
I don't want to put down Core because it's making a great case for him. But Bjergsen's also doing a really good job. He's just like CoreJJ in that you cannot replace him out of TSM and achieve the same results. His champion pool, I think, has been one of the most relevant when it comes to mid laners in this current meta, and he's able to assist his team in a way that CoreJJ also does, which is playing those utility-style mid laners like the Twisted Fate, like the Zillion. But if he has to carry, he can. The LeBlanc is always ready to go, especially now that you've got Treats, who's capable of playing the Yuumi and helping him out as well. I think that the thing that Bjergsen has above a lot of other mid laners is that he is really clutch. When games start to matter, he delivers constantly. As we move into playoffs, it's almost a shame that we don't get to carry on the vote through the playoffs because the stakes aren't as high and we don't get to see that full performance. But statistically, I mean, second, third, and fourth in a league that's got 10+ mid laners, I think is a really good stat considering how many times he's mixed around his champion pool.
Probably, where are you in all of this debate?
I mean, I gotta say, I do like both of these, mostly because these players are the ones that when the game kind of slows down and we're just stacking Drakes, they're usually the ones to break it open with some action, landing a Bard ult, landing a LeBlanc WRE, something like that. So I think it's really tough. Right now I'm leaning more towards CoreJJ, honestly, because the support pool is just kind of insane. And even the Bjergsen stats, he's second in a lot, so someone's beating him in stats. You can't really say that about CoreJJ.
Okay, all right, interesting. That's very interesting. Of course, it is still a close race, and these two guys are going up against each other today. So do we actually is there any indication or any feeling that today might actually decide it?
Yeah. I think so.
It's going to be recency bias for sure.
And not just recency bias, but also just it is arguably a very important time for them. This is fighting for upper bracket. If Bjergsen pops off hard carries and helps secure his team upper bracket, assuming that they might even have to play a tiebreaker versus C9 again today, that's the kind of stuff where you're yes, that is an MVP. That is someone hard carrying his team across the line. So I do think, while I'm also leaning towards CoreJJ right now, I am not locked in.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. Now, noticeably absent from this conversation, the defending MVP, Blabber. So, I mean, is this real? Is he really not in contention?
I mean, he's on the ballot for sure, but I do think that there's just a black mark from C9's back half. In the first half of the split, we usually just didn't see Blabber for 5 minutes, and then he would show up and just wreck everyone on Olaf. Since then, the Trundles and the Volibears are kind of iffy performances. He hasn't really stood out as much as he did earlier on. There's other good junglers like Santorin, so the Mark's criteria of can any other player replicate this? Right now, I'd say yes for Blabber.
Interesting. All right. Well, MVP isn't the only prestigious honor that a pro can earn. There are plenty more. We here on the analyst desk have quite a few to dole out. First up on the docket here is most likely to break the meta, and it goes to none other. I think most people will get this one. Power of Evil.
He does the math on items and builds them as such, whether it's Nashor's Roa or Lichbane Orianna. He likes to experiment, and I like that he's actually thought about it before doing it.
I mean, so break the meta doesn't imply a positive thing, though, because, right, even though he mentioned that the build yesterday was suboptimal, if you break the meta, it should be in a positive way. You're doing something that's more than optimal.
You can't break the meta without breaking a few builds or something.
And not
you know?
every experiment's going to be a success, right?
There's a make a cake, break some eggs analogy in there. My point is, he acknowledges when it didn't quite work out. You know, he was that's something I really like about him is he's willing to respond to community criticism around his builds, explain his reasoning, and he's often, like you said, admitting like, okay, I thought I would get more auto attacks, and in hindsight, I didn't. This build wasn't great, but if I did do it optimally, I would have had like 7% higher DPM or whatever. So I appreciate the meta breaking power of evil.
Hey, I'm happy anytime a pro player demonstrates some critical thinking at the very least. And this is a guy who's actively looking to get better and find those minimal improvements, even if they aren't mathematical at heart. Next up, most outspoken, and it goes to Evil Genius's Svenskeren.
Okay. This is a really good tweet out of Svenskeren. Just, I think this was before they actually played against C9, just a little bit of banter online. And you love to see that players take to social media and actually interact with each other, especially with the hashtag LiveEvil, single-handedly doing the PR job for Evil Geniuses in a stellar way, because it's caught on.
Yeah, I love the quantity as well of the quality. Some of them are not great, and he's just like, live evil, banger tweet to everything. Yep. So he's very loud in terms of outspoken, but then he also has a lot of really good ones about the, my favorite was someone had gum stuck under their car door.
That was a Cadian. I think that was a Cadian. I felt so bad, but it was such a great response.
Yeah, live evil.
All right, well done, Sven, for being most outspoken for your team. Next, we have the most team spirit, and it goes to Alorum. Let's see it.
You know, Alorum, we need you, man. Get up there. I played 2 games. They're like, all right, Alorum, we don't need you anymore. Get back down there. And so here I am again, back with the main team. They brought me back up again, and when the situation gets its worst, that's when they call me. I'm the backup. I'm the savior of organizations. So here I am again.
Wherever the team needs him, at any moment, he'll be there.
I mean, I guess that's team spirit, though. He's willing to be whatever they need. That sounds like a lot of Alorum spirit, though. He's hyping himself up. You know, he's always there to – he's got, like, the anime spirit of, like, never give up.
I don't think you could get thrown around by the team without having at least some kind of self-confidence in order to keep him moving forward, right?
The situation is dire, so they do need him to step up right now because they're still in playoffs. That's the craziest thing. Alorum could actually still make it.
They have a shot. They have a shot. Yeah. They're not in.
Okay, yeah, there's a shot.
All right. You know, Crumbs is making promises that he can't keep here. All right.
I know the script. I know what's happening.
The next one is a twofer here. This goes to Best Comeback, and it'll be for both Afromoo and Huni.
Yep,
and CLG role.
The CLG boys, right, Mark?
Yep.
I mean, Huni didn't even have a permanent starting spot in spring, so finally getting his starting spot in summer, and he's been performing great. GGS has been kind of on the uptick. I know they had this 0-2 weekend, but going into playoffs, definitely following this guy's career.
It's great to see Afro bouncing back as well after having some of the down splits. He's been incredible, and I think it's great that it's a contract split for him. You know, he's going to be a free agent, I believe, at the end of this year. So put in a good performance to help negotiate.
There you
and
have
for
it.
putting his life in the line for his marksman multiple times, too. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Flashing onto that Caitlyn trap yesterday. Love to see it. Okay, next up, Best Bromance, and I think everyone knows who this is going to. It's the Swall Bros. Sven and Goldenglue reunited, and it feels so good.
That's a Photoshop. Goldenglue is 7 feet tall, and Svenskeren is not.
Yeah. Of the Photoshops we've had, this is maybe the closest to reality, because at least they are swole, but yeah, the height discrepancy not coming through
Small
there.
height discrepancy.
It's cool to see them back together again, though. I hope they are able to start working a little bit better with the rest of their team. I think their synergy has been good so far, but definitely
I mean, you have
great.
Kumo, Zeyzal, Sven, Goldenglue, like everybody's on that. They're all reunited. But
what
those
about,
two definitely leading the pack.
What about the Huni Bang, right? They played on SKT together. That should be a little...
That's also true. Look, you got connections all over the place over there at Evil Geniuses. Next up is Most Athletic. Most Athletic. And it goes to TSM's Bjergsen.
So for people who don't know how we're classifying Most Athletic, when we think athletic people, it's like they can pick up any sport and be good at it. That's Bjergsen with champions. He can pick up any champion, master it, and then pull it out on stage. Whether it's Cho'Gath mid, he's playing Urgot mids back in the day. This split's been the Fiddlesticks mid. I saw him playing Nunu mid in solo queue. They didn't play it on stage, but he has that in his back pocket.
But Zillion, LeBlanc, he can play it all.
I mean, I think most athletic, honestly, Mark, is more about how hard he can carry. And he's got that strong back. Some might call it a barrel of snakes, but he's just carrying TSM so hard. That's why he's most athletic.
It's a classic barrel of snakes back.
That's not a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic, Mark.
Wouldn't that just be strongest if you're talking about best carry potential? Like, wouldn't it be a strongman?
No, I'm actually with you, Mark. That most athletic is a person who can quite easily adapt and pick up new sports and physical activities.
Flexibility.
So I would say Bjergsen's adaptability to the game itself is what makes him athletic. What was that?
Flexibility is good.
Yeah. Well, flexibility is a trait of being athletic, so I see it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, damn, did we just give out the wrong award? Now
we should change it to flexibility.
We got to take it back. All right, we've got one final award to give out. This is the most important award of the split. It goes to coolest mom, Julie Gilmer. You are the coolest mom.
I just love it. So on the nose. So just suck it.
It's so accurate. It's so good. I love it.
This was after EG beat Golden Guardians, the team that technically kicked her son.
I love that kind of support. She's all over social media. Her love for the game, her love for her son, of course, fantastic. So a much-deserved Coolest Mom award to Julie Gilmer. With just a few minutes, though, to go before Game 1, let's go ahead and take a look at Evil Geniuses versus 100 Thieves to see how Goldenglue is going to do today. What happened to 100 Thieves yesterday?
They had probably one of the worst collapses I've seen in the minute. I mean, when you get in these high tense moments, I understand the exact right macro call can be hard to figure out, but some of this stuff is like, come on, it's pretty obvious. You get the Baron, you all want to recall, and Ezreal hits you with a 5-man Ezreal ultimate. That gives vision. You know that. You cannot just stop in the brush and press B again. And they have Bard. They could have tunneled out right away. That someone could have gone over the wall. And then after this point, they have no idea what they're trying to do. Like, Phoenix is chasing them down. You need to kill Phoenix to stop him. Instead they're trying to heal and just run away and slow him. Like, this was such a disaster because if anyone could have got back just a little bit earlier, this probably could have been stopped and defended.
And it's not like Camille just randomly showed up in the bottom lane. She didn't TP. She was just shoving down bot lane casually. So when they signed up to do the Baron, they already were under the idea that, hey, Camille is going to backdoor. You need to make sure that you recall. The enemy might try to stop your ports and play the split push, since that's what they've been doing all game long.
Yeah, but I mean, that's why it's such a painful moment because, yeah, they're under pressure. They made the right decision. We need a 5-man rush Baron while Camille's split pushing. And then the mind kind of just broke down. They're like, well, we got the Baron. What's the next step? Oh, no, they're chasing us.
Yeah, didn't have that foresight, as Crumbs said, to know what would need to follow the Baron take itself. Now, on the flip side, despite a rough start in their game, Evil Geniuses, they kept composure against Golden Guardians and did pull out that victory yesterday.
Yeah, they fell 10K gold down and were able to swing it back in their favor. It didn't happen instantly, but they understood, like, hey, we need to throw some kills and picks in the side lanes. They would sometimes lose the Baron to make sure that they were killing people. And it threw enough of a wrench in Golden Guardians' plan to eventually be able to find the bigger pickoffs to get them back in the game and actually win it. They won with a gold deficit, which spoke to how hard it probably was for them to find these kills and get into the game.
Those two big picks were Goldenglue, right? Catching the Echo, Damonte in the bottom lane, actually even taking away the Magi stack, so a little bit of cash influx there, as well as then TPing and catching the Nidalee. And we heard from his interview saying we just needed to get to the point where we felt like our comp was just going to win, and that's a scaling feel. That's someone that's, when you play a scaling comp, you're very used to that feeling like, all right, we're down gold, but we're online, let's go.
And both these teams are locked into their current playoff positioning. And so what's interesting to look at with this is looking forward into like best of fives. And when the pressure's going to get high and you're going to struggle and you're going to have to make these tough decisions, EG was able to lock it down and figure out what they needed to get back in the game, whereas 100 Thieves completely blew apart. They have a lot of younger players on that lineup, and I think it kind of showed there. And if they want to have a good run in playoffs, they'll need to shore up some of this more late-game decision-making. That seems like it was a big problem yesterday.
What's the learning for EG on the fact that they fell behind, or rather, probably how does them falling behind interact with those statistics we were looking at yesterday about how Huni seems to be better when he is just ignored by his team and left on an island?
Well, I mean, I think yesterday kind of exposed a bit of their draft. I think they've had draft problems for a while, and I think yesterday was one where they had so many losing lanes, losing jungle matchup that, yeah, Golden Guardians really took a heavy lead. But EG showed that they're resilient, so that means if you can back up the early game a bit more, that resiliency is going to be a lot easier to deal with. You won't have to keep, digging into the barrel of, we're 10k down, but come on, guys, we still have a chance. So I think the draft is going to be something that they look at. The Huni doing better without resources thing, I think is an anomaly. I don't think anyone's solving that. There's no coach, there's no player that's like, all right, we're going to start, make no one go to Huni, guys. He's going to do better this way. It's just some crazy thing.
It is going to be a very interesting top lane matchup, though, in this one, because, of course, you've got Ssumday opposite him. And every time we look at 100 Thieves and we think Ssumday, we think, what do we think, Crumbs?
Well, he's 8-3, so you got to put him on the offense.
There it is.
But someone didn't read my card.
I mean, I agree, but he can play. His Ornn game was good yesterday. He was playing Ornn well. It's just
They lost.
It's not his fault.
Yeah. His Ornn play is good, but as a team, he needs to do more than a good tank. He needs to do more than that.
All right, with that, I think it's time for us to take a back seat and let the casters take it away. Freak and Kobe, get us into the games.
Hello and welcome to the LCS 2020 Summer Split. I am Freak. Kobe, are you ready?
Let's go.
This is exciting. It's the last day, I should say, of regularly scheduled games, and for the first time in LCS history, I believe, all the teams are still in playoff contention. Yes, in summer, 8 out of the 10 teams make it, so there's an asterisk there, but all the teams are alive, and we'll see which teams are going to sneak in at the very end. Right now, we have 2 teams who are locked into playoffs, Evil Geniuses and 100 Thieves.
All right, so right into it. Analyst Tesla is talking about top lane champions. Obviously, that's always important with players like Ssumday and Huni. Huni already on the bans here. This has been very easy for teams playing against Evil Geniuses. Gangplank, Rumble, these are always the champions that you associate with him because those are the ones he performs on. And it's still true this split. We saw Evil Geniuses, his Kennen game, really rough with his flanks. His Camille game, even worse as he got soloed out by an Orianna. So right off the bat, 100 Thieves banning away the Rumble. A lot of teams have actually left up the Gangplank to their own detriment and been punished heavily for it.
All right, EG also getting rid of a lot of aggressive, strong laners. Bang notoriously has a very, very small champion pool. Is a very small pool of things he's willing to play.
So I want to talk on this.
Yes, please.
Because it is a point people keep on bringing up, and people bring up these points a lot with players, even that we have had long careers and long stretches of success through multiple metas. For me, yes, Bang has played only a few champions, Felios, Ezreal, but those are the OP champions at the top of the tier list for AD carries. And I don't think it speaks to, hey, Bang can't play other marksmen. What do you know? This is one of the guys that's been playing the game for one of the longest stretches that we have had in professional play. I think he's there just following the tier list. It's not really restrictions on him as a player.
I just find it interesting, right? Because I totally agree that if you take the tier list view, he's just picking whatever's at the highest. But right, every other AD carry says, well, okay, Felios is gone. I could play Ezreal, but this feels like a Kalista game. Like he's never done that. He's never said this is a Kalista game. This is a Varus game. Like he's never played Varus the entire split, and Varus was the best AD carry. Banned most games, don't get me wrong, but a lot of other players have other stuff in the picks. Bang decides it's a Kalista day. Out of a hat, I picked the name of top tier 80 carry, and Bang picks it. I can't believe this.
I actually love casting chips. Like with Freak, whenever I bring up one of these points, and he's like, you know what? They're never going to do this. A boom.
Yeah. Remember the doublets is not going to play Syndra here, and then he did and promptly lost?
Yeah, I was there right with you. That's why I love
We get the best champ select, Kobe. I appreciate you, man.
Anyways, proving my point right here, Bang can definitely, well, I guess he hasn't proven it yet because we have to see how well he does on it. But
let's be clear, this is
the point. Exactly,
Sorry.
the point that I'm going for. And anyways, Kalista still could be a flex, by the way, so we should leave the door open. I have actually played a game with Huni top Kalista, and he dominated on it. That's solo queue, anecdotal evidence, but this very well could still be a top lane pick, and we could be memeing on a flex here. Kalista very easily can still play solo lane. Even have seen it a few people playing it mid lane. So keeping the door open there. 100 Thieves obviously don't think that's going to be a Goldenglue champion. I don't think it is either, and they're going to ban out some of the Goldenglue style, longer range control mages. He had a good Azir game where he carried for them yesterday.
You know, speaking of flexes, Kobe, I like the subtle, you know, hey, by the way, I'm in Huni's Elo and solo queue. You know, that's good. I like that, Kobe.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good player. I think you're a Hecarim abuser now, so that's going to give you some win rate as well. We get Jace off the table. Ssumday, yeah, I don't think we're going to see an Ornn ban against 100 Thieves, as we saw from Crumbs on the analyst desk. Indeed, Ssumday is 0-3 on the pick. Give this man a fighter. Of course, 100 Thieves are on red side. They can save counter pick for Ssumday. I expect a blind mid laner here for Ryoma. Right now, Zoe is still up. Would be an easy pick for him. We'll see what comes through. And as we mentioned, the Kalista can be flexible. Right, there's the Rectum ban down there as well. EG getting rid of fighter top laners for Ssumday.
Yeah, and I think everybody is kind of on the edge of their seat. 100 Thieves saving red side counter pick for Ssumday. That's what teams want, you know, when you're looking at 100 Thieves. And especially since they have a Nidalee. You expect really high pressure lanes. Now with a Galio locked in, 100 Thieves have fully set up for very high pressure Contractz jungle trying to invade with Nidalee and multiple globals to back him up. So EG right now, since they have to blind their top laner for Huni, they just need to get some lanes that you can have pretty much all-purpose strong laning phase, in my opinion, because that's what they're going to have to defend against. And now's the moment of truth. Is it going to be a solo lane Kalista, or is that indeed Bang's pick, as we would guess?
Yeah, I'm kind of seeing Shen up there on the top side. It's a very safe blind top laner. It is going to be Bang's first Kalista game of the split. We know he can play it. Want to see it here alongside Zeyzal. Shen has pretty safe matchups in a lot of cases, can withstand a lot of fighters with the dodge zone. Okay in invades because you can build them tanky without much difficulty, and a decent source of damage output as well. And we're going to see Lilia maybe come through. She is so abusively good into melee top laners. Does Poome wait to lock this in? No, going to move around. Camille going to come in instead. Still think Lilia is very strong, is a viable top laner. I think would be decent into Shen overall, but we're going to see Camille up there.
Yeah, exactly. And Shen feels exactly the question that was posed to Evil Geniuses, where I'm talking about super high, aggressive playstyle from 100 Thieves, trying to invade in jungle. Shen is perfect. You have a global you can answer their globals with. You can use defensive Stand Uniteds, or you can use Stand United extremely aggressively with Thresh Graves invades. And that is what I want to see from Evil Geniuses. The big question mark for me, Corki, for Goldenglue, generally, you're going to try and farm up early. We'll have a pretty easy lane versus Galio, but when he gets the package, 8 minutes, I want to see EG completely change perspective here. They need to play aggressive off these packages, time them with the dragons. The timer is perfectly synced up. You basically have 5 minutes because it's a 4 minute plus the duration is 1 extra minute, and that's how you should be able to win the game.
Yeah, and of course there's even a Shen delivery system. Right, if you really want, Huni can ult on the Goldenglue. He dives into the back line. You deliver Shen back there. You get an easy dodge. You get an easy taunt. And you get to feel good about that one. And I'm kind of excited to see what this happens. What comes through here for EG. We know they're going to be 5th or 6th seed in playoffs no matter what. At best, they can fight for seeding, but we know they're upper bracket. The question now is, what form are you in when you take on a first-round opponent, be it Cloud9, TSM, or FlyQuest? I think they're only possible first-round opponents. You got to get ready for that match because that's next weekend, and you're going to play them in a best-of-5. How good can you get? Goldenglue was awesome yesterday. Hard carry performance on Azir, 1 death where he slightly overextended in the top lane and you know, traded his life for a turret. Here he's again on Corki, another backline high damage champion, you know, putting out some magic damage here. And again, I want to see if he is on form, because if Goldenglue is playing at that level, this is a very, very scary team with threats in all 3 lanes. If Goldenglue goes back to, you know, Spring Split Golden Guardians or earlier where he can't have the consistent performances, then EG look a lot more mortal. So I want to see what can happen on this Corki. Meanwhile, 100 Thieves side, we know they're going to be on the lower bracket side waiting for their first opponent. I want to see how good they can get.
Yeah, and once again, they're taking the Nidalee. Something must have happened in scrims, because we got like 3 or 4 Nidalees already this last week, And the teams still have been kind of struggling with fully utilizing the Champion's Kit, really getting the most out of the counter jungling and the speed clearing with this champion. Nidalee also, of course, is going to bring the heals later for a little bit of sustain and can possibly set you up with poke. But I think the thing they're trying to highlight is Galio mid lane plus the aggressive Nidalee. This is something that 100 Thieves did when they first put in Contractz. They were able to get Ryoma the Galio, which is a perfect champion for him, supportive to the more aggressive players on the team.
Yeah, and we get to see Ssumday play the champion that lost them their game just yesterday, where it was Viper on the Camille who, played Camille into Ssumday's Ornn, split the lane, got the 3 items, and got to ignore the tank and split push to victory, and eventually 100 Thieves dropped that game. This time around, Ssumday is on the Camille. He gets to be the slide and split pusher. It is the kind of play style everyone expected out of 100 Thieves all year long. You've got one of the best top laners in the world on a lower half team in the LCS. This guy is your win condition. It had been the case back when they were first winning splits, or at least the regular season. It's the case here still at 6 and 11. Ssumday is the man to look at, and he's got the champion to do it.
Yeah, I will at least say Ssumday is also a very good tank player and has a history of being a good tank player. But most people do agree with you as far as the team doesn't have many other players at his caliber. No,
they don't have any. It's Ssumday. No one's at his caliber.
So they want to use him in a damage dealing position.
Yeah,
also, their game yesterday had a lot of other things wrong with it.
Well, sure. I mean, look, this to be fair is a 6 and 11 team. There are flaws in 100 Thieves, right? They are not a perfect team. The players are not on Ssumday's level, and so that is why, yes, his Ornn and his Maokai and his Malphite are all very good, but he's got to carry this team, and it's not just, well, my Ornn engage was pretty good. A lot of players can do that. You do want to see him on split push, on a carry duty, so, that is the point kind of being made. I know you're not, assuming I'm making a different point there. I just want to really clarify the stance that, yeah, Ssumday carrying is how 100 Thieves gets more than 6 wins in a split.
All right, well, it is Contractz starting on bottom side, so maybe he's going for more of a full clear Nidalee up towards the top side and then try and split the map. Because Huni pulled with Svenskeren, he's trying to give Svenskeren a little bit of extra damage. Shen actually gives a really good leash as far as solo lane leashes go. Because of the Q, start out, you get a huge amount of percentage health damage you can do to the blue. So it really does accelerate the Graves clear, which is already quite quick. And since it's a power farmer versus power farmer matchup with Nidalee Graves, we'll see if that actually can go a long way. 100 Thieves already trying to keep track of Svenskeren. You saw Ryoma on your mini map there with the Galio pushing up and trying to get in for a ward. He did just barely catch sight of Svenskeren, so they know he's at a fairly quick clip here on his clear down towards the bottom side, and that should signal to Cody Sun and Poome they need their wards up, and they need to be fairly careful. Graves, obviously with a dash, can circumvent the common Tribrush ward and dash over the dragon wall.
Nice play right there. Taunts through, but he's hitting the shield from Ssumday, who goes back in for the stun, gets the Empower Q. Nice play there out of the Camille. I find this matchup really interesting to watch because they both have self-shielding. They both got different amounts of range tools. You Q an auto attack on Huni, gets the shield for the trade. Ssumday goes in for the range damage to get the slow in and the heal back. Can you play around the dodge zone? Can you play around the taunt? Really kind of interesting because there's like 7 different cooldowns to track and play around in that matchup. Definitely very compelling. First push goes through to Ssumday, but he's now out of mana, so we're going to see the very early recall come through for just a second Doran's Blade and maybe waiting for a potion before he gets back into lane.
And this is what I'm talking about with Graves having the mobility to get down to bottom lane, circumvent those wards.
Looks like Poome not going to go for the chomp. He's heading to the exhaust towards Svenskeren. He's supposed to flash it away because Ssumday is here. Finds the stun. They're going to find the taunt as well. The double TP is in. And that's going to be first blood in the bottom lane. Zeyzal going to lose his life as well. Literally everyone in the bottom lane. It's a 5v3.
100 Thieves ready for that play. No hesitation on the double teleport from their solo laners. Everybody down to the bottom lane. Cody Sun sends up the bat signal, and immediately they all answer the call. You can see how they're playing really, really far back, very defensively for them. So Svenskeren, his attempt here, scouted out by 100 Thieves, and the trap has already been laid. Ssumday gets the E off the wall, immediately into the taunt from Ryoma. Just beautiful layering of the crowd control there from the double solo laners, and Contractz even heading down for the spear to claim the gold for himself.
And I gotta say, Ssumday was moments away from TPing top lane instead. He had already recalled, he picked second Dorn's Blade, he got the refillable, and top was going into his turret. There was a decent chance that guy was about to hit that button top side, and as the gank came in, he was like, oh wait, I'm on Fountain, I can TP here. And it got them, I think, that kill on Greaves. I think Sven would have lived without the Camille hookshot stun. So, well done, of course, to the 100 Thieves side. 2 quick kills to the bottom side. 1 went on Nidalee, 1 went on to the Galio. So they are the ones with the money. Ultimately, Huni can't push in top fast enough to deny much from Ssumday. That farm is equal between the two of them. So 100 Thieves getting away with basically everything they would want, an 800 gold lead in the early game.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely setting themselves up for success. Nidalee has a huge spike when you complete Runic Echoes. That item just gives you so much burst damage, and it really puts Nidalee over the edge. You can see Contractz is using Electrocute, so you have this kind of break point where as soon as you can rush to your Runic Echoes completion, Nidalee gets the power to basically 100% to zero somebody if you land the spear with her full combo. And once again, Contractz is heading toward the bottom side, hovering here, waiting for the possible Svenskeren gank.
Back on the bottom side, yeah, Cody Sun should feel very safe. He has Flash. Poome is here around as well with Guardian and his own Chomp to keep things safe. Flash, if he really needs it. Contractz right now, though, gonna pull the Drake out of the pit, put his controller down, says, okay, you can see me, but it doesn't necessarily have to matter. Of course, Contractz has Smite. Svenskeren's the same and equal level. Looks like he is unwilling to try. You could Blast Plant over the wall and then quick draw back. Like, there isn't that much risk on Svenskeren to try. That said, not going to go for the play, and it's just going to be the Drake picked up easy behind Thieves.
Yeah, so I also would be really scared of that in Svenskeren's position, because they pulled the dragon out. You do have to walk up a little bit away from the wall, and maybe you get tagged with Ashe slow or Tahm Kench Q slow, and you can't get back to the wall to quick draw over. So he doesn't want to take the low percentage chance at a steal there with all of 100 Thieves on the dragon. And it is going to be another objective to the 100 Thieves. Really nice early game going for them, and a lot of it is off of coordinated play. They've talked about the coordination being one of the main things they've been working on ever since they put Contractz and Poome as a duo from the Academy team into the LCS team. One of the big reasons they brought them in has been the communication with the team. Both Contractz and Poome, very vocal players, lend a lot to the shot calling for the team. I have to say, especially with the double teleports from Ryoma and Ssumday, the coordination of them with their solo laners already kind of on display and returning big wins for the team.
Back on the map they go. 600 gold lead. Actually, it's been shrinking ever so slightly as EG have been farming up pretty well. Got to point out that Corki's got a gigantic lead over Ryoma here in the mid lane of a good 12 right now as the waves are cleared back. Some of that, of course, is the TP to bot lane. It is also, I want to point out, lethal tempo on the Corki. That is a keystone we see less often on that champion. Often it's fleet footwork for an easier laning phase, but I don't think the lane gets any easier than facing Galio as Corki, so higher fight damage. Javelin's going to land. Good damage on a Huni. Big chomp, and that is going to be the flash forced away before Pounce can land for damage. But Huni's now flashless. Has an ult, but flashless on the top side. And it's actually going to be 100 Thieves not greeting for the turret plate. Of course, it can be awkward to go for plates against Shen. If he taunts you, your life is really sad. End of the day, it's going to be the tempo recall so somebody can walk back to lane without losing farm.
Yeah, I actually like that flash from Huni, even though people will be like, hey, he doesn't have Runic Echoes completed. That wouldn't have killed immediately right there. But because he flashes that damage, he can stick around for the double minion wave that had built up. That is a lot of experience that Huni still gets to soak up after avoiding that and expending his flash. Plus, yes, you're not as scary without the possibility of taunt flashing when you stand united, but he still has that option. He can use his teleport back to lane and has the teleport advantage since stand united is available.
An ulti spent to force Poome's flash out of enough damage that maybe he wouldn't have died, but he'd be forced out of lane entirely. And then Cody Sun gets dove 2v1, so burns the flash, keeps the health bar up, and he's going to be okay. Svenskeren spots a ward. He's got Goldenglue nearby, easy kill onto that one. And they're going to say, okay, you know, we're 9 minutes, 50 seconds in. Let's go for Rift Herald. Pretty easy pickup here. Guaranteed 2 plates when it charges, and maybe a little bit more if we can get a lane in a good spot.
I want to see the package stand united combination. Too late. Package time's out here for Goldenglue, so he uses it.
Well, in a couple seconds apart, they're going to go in. Galio over the top. There was a lot of damage. Goldenglue is gone right away. Ashe arrow won't hit. Huni very, very low. Goes down to Ssumday. And the chase is on now for Svenskeren. It's the flash over for Contractz. The chase in for Ssumday. And 100 Thieves are 5-0 in kills in under 10 minutes.
Oh my goodness, Freak. That is a hashtag live evil for the 100 Thieves. They can meme on them right now because this early game has been won. It is over for the early game. 100 Thieves absolutely smash EG. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the replay for the specific players here to see what time Goldenglue picked up his package, because they did not coordinate it with actually fighting that Rift Herald. I believe the reason he used it so early was because it was timing out, because he had picked it up a little bit early and they weren't all ready to go force the fight on the Rift Herald. But package coordination to me is one of the biggest things whenever I see Corki picked in a game, because that is the aspect of Corki's kits that the champion designers have buffed over the last 3 patches for Corki buffs. It has all been focused around that area. And this being a huge 100 Thieves win with their collapse there, not only did they destroy them, well, let's wait to see what happens to Ssumday.
He's getting pretty low, but he's gotten a lot of damage into Huni here as well. There's no ulti yet for the Shen. Here comes the TV back in. He's going to try to solo kill Huni. Can he get enough damage? Yeah, he's going to die to turret damage at the end of it all. Ssumday gets a straight up kill in a 1v2, and now a play to the bottom side. Cody Sun's going to flash and be flayed in, though. Stun's going to buy some time going back in towards Bang. He's not going to live very long. He's going to come through, but Contractz is back in, and Poome is nearby. Be careful, Contractz, though. Going to chomp him in. TP coming in for his rest of this as well, as now Bang is forced to run. Zeyzal should have a lantern soon. I guess he burned it during the fight. He lanterned for an 80-point shield, but didn't have it up for the counter gank, and Zeyzal wastes the cooldown and gets his 80 carry killed.
Yeah, I mean, we have to start looking for the small wins here for EG. They got a kill. They're on the board, Freak. They did take down Cody Sun, but man, it is just going to be a steamroll now for 100 Thieves, because as I was trying to say off the last sentence there, not only did 100 Thieves win that Rift Herald fight hard and destroy the EG top side, they also left it with teleport advantage. And you see the teleport advantage here, even though Bang and Zeyzal are able to get the kill onto Cody Sun 2v2, and they could have fought off the Contractz gank, they can't fight off the extra teleport coming through. So there's just an extra card here for 100 Thieves to play, because they won the top side so hard and had already burned the cooldowns from Stand United, from Corki's package, and there was nothing left that EG could do to support them. So here's another look at it. Huni goes in for the taunt. Ssumday then able to stun him off the wall, and he still has red buff plus the Conqueror built up. Oh, this is the dive. Now, one thing about Graves, you have to be careful when going for dives. Your damage can be blocked if they just hide behind the tower or their minions. So Ssumday does that after Svenskeren goes for the Q. He just hides behind there and then immediately hook shots back out to take down Shen. And a flash in from Ryoma. It's just 100 Thieves all over the place, all over EG. One on the backside though for Bang and Zeyzal, as you know. Freaky can go through with the kill here onto Cody Sun.
Yeah, he just puts Lantern down to, I guess to be fair, he shields himself as well with it, but they never needed the health difference. The fight was never close at all. And when you're going this hard and the jungle's nearby, I feel like you want to keep Lantern in your back pocket as a playmaking tool. If he has Lantern here, they probably both get out. You can see that Zeyzal live no problem. You saw Bang trying to build space. Right, one goes left, then you Lantern out, but that's going up 24 seconds. You don't get it again.
Within the replay, we've got an EG proactive play. Shen, Stand United, comes back up for Huni after he revives from getting killed. Woo! They go for it.
Going again, but they got to target the guy who can chomp. Of course, Cody Sun pulled right back out. Now they're going to go back into Poome after the Devour, and 2 kills come through on the bottom side. EG, despite being down 6 kills, find a tower dive and 2 more.
Check minimap, Freak. Ssumday just destroyed their inhibitor turrets for these bottom lane plays. Now, EG do need to get some gold back for themselves, so they're overloading on bottom side. And I still think it is positive for EG from such a losing position to be able to get this gold. You get multiple kills on bottom side, and you can try and get a tower. It does mean topside will be open for later when Ssumday wants to go split push, but you can see Ssumday made the conscious choice. He doesn't want to take the inhibitor this early because it's so early in the game. He doesn't want to let a bunch of extra farm go over to EG that have possible globals where they can answer. Defensive Galio ultimate here from Ryoma just gets run over, bang on the Kalista, continually hopping forward, able to get the big shutdown for himself. That is money where EG need it most. Then the return gank you saw with Kalista ultimate ready, Bang goes hard once again. They're feeling like Bang and Zeyzal, hey, we got to make some plays, we got to go really aggressive right now to try and save this game, as 100 Thieves had been running over it. So I like to see this fight from the EG bottom lane, and they're trying to make plays off of them.
Alrighty, and look at this gold graph. Yeah, Ssumday is the man with all the money. EG has some kills on their carries. 3 kills on Bang is nice, good farm on Goldenglue, puts them in second, as everyone else has to keep up. But it is Ssumday, who is very, very big. He is the gold lead right now, right? You can see this 2,000 gold lead for 100 Thieves. Cody Sun now picking up some for himself. That is roughly Ssumday's lead over the opponents here. And that is roughly where it sits up right now. As you mentioned, open inhibitor now on the top side. Ssumday level 11. About to spot Huni from the brush and goes, yeah, I'll fight you. Taunts backwards. He cannot take this fight at all. Trinity Force is there. Ssumday feeling comfortable. Nice dodge. Gets rid of the empowered Q, but still not a close fight. Ult going to be spent. Galio over the top. Goodbye, Huni.
Ssumday immediately illustrating why he did not kill the inhibitor, did not want his own super minions to keep pushing that in to allow safer areas for EG to farm. This kind of draws out Huni. He's pushing the wave up. This is Conqueror Camille, okay? He is ruined and built to take down Shen with the Trinity Force already completed. Very nice job here by Ssumday. Whittles him down, then they make the call. Nobody else around for EG to show up to try and save Huni, so we can throw down the double ultimate Camille and Galio combination. It's inescapable, and they do find the kill. See if EG can make any sort of push back. Goldenglue picking up package number 2.
All right, and it's going to be the third Drake of the game. Now, 100 Thieves have already picked up the first 2, which is impressive because all of their winning has been through Ssumday in the top side. They've managed to grab the Drakes in the bottom side of the map off of good early laning out of Cody Sun and Poome, and now it's going to be package force defensively. Goldenglue's not going to be able to use that for the actual Drake fight itself. Question stands if there even is going to be one. Now, right now, Galio ult is down, Camille ult is down. 100 Thieves missing actually 3. Actually, to be fair, all 3 combat ults are gone, so they realistically don't have a good chance of fighting this one. EG will indeed grab that Drake, no problem. The question is this fight going to be good enough? Yes, a gold lead exists, but they're missing those 3 combat ults. End of the day, EG are going to forced to be run away. And 100 Thieves push down the mid lane for the outer turret. Now Svenskeren might be under some fire. Goldenglue wants in, damage on Cody Sun, but knocked back into the air. He walks in to kill himself, and the fight continues now with Svenskeren forced to flash away as well. A Tahm from Huni, decent damage to Ssumday. He's going to stay alive. Healed back up now by Contractz, looking for the re-engage. 100 Thieves will completely take over this fight, an easy 3-for-0, and make that a 4th. Goodbye to Svenskeren. Poome, thumbs up, buddy. I'll take you down as well. 100 Thieves walking over evil geniuses.
And Poome calling for the white flag from EG as well. He's saying, give it up right now. 100 Thieves open up that mid lane. Once again, I have, just since Champ Select, I really wanted to see the package combined around an objective timer with a Stand United. Like, that combination has so much potential. If they're able to time it right. But once again, package picked up a little bit early. You see it used in the mid lane, and then they are able to still sneak away the objective. They get the dragon, but transitioning over to try and defend mid lane, they go right into a Galio taunt there, and Goldenglue just got annihilated inside their own jungle. Now he's trying to chase off Ssumday, and he does have backup, so they can do that at the least. But 100 Thieves feeling very good about this game, despite their dragon stacking, running into a little bump here where they do not get number 3. Here's another look at the aggressive play. Kalista ultimate is down here. Arrow lands. Svenskeren does get the shield as well as Huni coming in for Stand United, but man, the tower dive. Ryoma goes right for it, is able to Zhonya's to stall it out, and they continue pelting them. Woo! All right, Ryoma. Oh, Ryoma actually with the Proto Bell kill into the flash for the extra taunt here. It's just hard to watch here now, Free.
Yeah. It's getting over real fast right now. 100 Thieves running over this game Looking for a little bit more. Why not? Zeyzal, yeah, you're under the turret, buddy. You're taunted, you're gone, you're aced. Oh my gosh, 100 Thieves. Look at this lead, 7.3 thousand. Yeah, Baron's not even up yet. Like, this is one of those where you say, all right, is this a forfeit? Are we good? Are we done here today? This is the kind of game you're going to feel really bad about on the EG side. If they drop this game, this is the last game of the regular season. They will not be in a tiebreaker. They are going to be simply at 8 and 10. They're going to be 6th seed. 100 Thieves will be right below them at 7th. That's it. See you in playoffs. See you against the 3rd seed next weekend. Another Sun's going to land. Svenskeren, another health bar running low, but penalty and lives. It's now Bang's turn to flash away. I think I've seen this something before underneath that turret. Deja vu.
We got a replay from the future. I was wondering where it came from.
Okay, yeah, I was so confused. I was like, did I just like miss everything?
So I was thinking maybe like the game is going so fast that we haven't caught up with this. Like, but it was just a little divination from the future here. 100 Thieves showing that they could pull off the heist underneath the turrets from EG. You already know how it ends.
I had an out-of-body experience. I went to go double-check playoff standings to make sure I had my tiebreakers right. I look back and I'm like, how is Kobe cutting a replay I didn't cast? Like, was that during Baron? No, Baron's not up yet. Where is that fight? And then we watched.
Come on, freak!
Wait, I've seen this before. I've seen this. I've seen this fight. Oh, I know what this is. This was a pre-play. We had a pre-play in the LCS, the debut of the pre-plays the Summer Split. I like these.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
Because 100 Thieves were doing so well in this game, we already started building their highlight reel. This is the 100 Thieves YouTube highlight reel from this game, and honestly, it's well made. Ryoma, really good performance on this Galio. I think this game is making a statement for 100 Thieves heading into playoffs. Teams are not going to give this champion over to 100 Thieves. He looks, and the team looks so much better with this champion. He's made multiple plays by himself as well as supporting his teammates. So I think that, you know, with one of the players that's received a lot of extra criticism on 100 Thieves, this is a very specific champion that is going into playoffs, will probably be denied from them. And you have to say, especially that combination with Ssumday and his Camille, 100 Thieves showing that they can use it to a devastating effect.
And I want to say, like, imagine this game without those first, like, 3 really good fights around top river. Like, even with the bot lane TP going 2 for 0 at the very early game, where EG gets set behind, we still saw Bang and Zeyzal make big plays down there. They pull the Shen ult down, they find the tower dives. Like, Bang got a 3-1 start in this game. Ssumday, now very much alone, gonna have a real hard time with this one. He's trying to run away, flashes a hook. He's like, yeah, I'll deal some damage. Ssumday nearly dies, and they find a single kill. They get a shutdown, but this is the goal of split push. When you're on the bottom side, your team is doing something else on the top side. Baron is going to be taken very early on in this game. 100 Thieves have absolutely everything they need to close this one out. A Drake will be traded. That's fine. You take Baron for a single Drake and a kill, no problem.
Both teams there with the correct thought process, right? 100 Thieves, as you're stating, this is your goal of your split push. You have Ssumday on bottom side, creating pressure. He also has teleport, so you set up a split map. It's one of the most simple ways to end out games. You have Baron pressure plus bottom lane split push with a super fed Camille. Either the enemy team takes down your split pusher, as they did here, and you get Baron, or you're able to split push inside the base, you get another exposed inhibitor. From EG side, they could not fight the fight at Baron, so they know, hey, we just got to send everybody at the split pusher and get something.
Ooh, big damage there. Nearly kills Zeyzal. He's still burning. He's just going to live. The last sliver of health he gets away as Bang ults him out. Burning from the red smite, but he's going to be okay there. Middle is cracked. Top was cracked 8 minutes ago by Ssumday split pushing. That's going to be inhibitor 1 down. Inhibitor 2 shortly to follow. EG doing their best to defend. 2-item Kalista can try to kill frontline. Going to be hard to do that one. As they knock down some wards, look for the re-engage. Goldenglue has package, gonna go for the play here with Shen over the top. We wanted to see these plays. Shen blocks the knockup, Ryoma burns the Zonias. Here, how about the re-engage? Easy first kill, yes, it's on the board. EG, 5v4, can you somehow make it work? Ssumday is about to find the flank. He's coming up nearby, Cody Sun's low. Here comes Camille over the top, but Cody Sun's on one hit, and Huni is fighting Contractz. Big damage to the front side. Ssumday burns the stop. Watch Cody Sun's on the board. Svenskeren is low. Cody Sun flashes and gets the double kill. Zeyzal gets a flay. He's trying to stay alive. He won't do it. And the final kills will come through. Goodbye to the rest of you. A dabbing penguin. And 100 Thieves have knocked down the ace. The base is open. It's time to win the game.
100 Thieves making it look good here. Only 24 minutes in, and they are going to take down the Nexus.
All righty, we've got our 6th and 7th seeds locked in. Evil Geniuses, 8 and 10, 100 Thieves, 7 and 11. We will see both of you in playoffs. This guarantees Golden Guardians, 5th seed right above, 9 and 9.
Contractz adds another Nidalee win to the record as well.
Yeah.
Our most successful LCS Nidalee by far, and a lot of it, again, if we're going back to the game plan, I like how 100 Thieves laid it out. This is one of the game plans that they used most effectively as soon as they made their roster swaps. You know, aggressive Ssumday on the top side with that Camille, Ryoma backing up with Galio, and making plays, you know, with a strong jungler. I would have said I would have liked for EG to better coordinate their package use specifically, especially having the possible combination with Shen, Stan United around objectives.
Yeah, absolutely the case. Certainly things to look at. EG, we know are going to be in the upper bracket. They will face the 3rd seed in the first round. Looking at FlyQuest, TSM, or C9, I believe, are the only chances for that one. And that's a best of 5. If you drop that one, you go to lower bracket, you fight someone else down here. We'll see who the second team down there is going to be later on in the day. But they just need to shape up. At this point, EG were the 2nd place finisher in the spring regular season, the 3rd place finisher in the spring playoffs, and suddenly now the 6th place finisher in the summer regular season. It has been a fall from grace. The new
Not
roster,
a banger second half for them.
not a banger second half. and even the first half, right? It was 5 and 5 with the other roster here. You know, the record since then, not that different from 50-50. I want to see if they can shake it up. I want to see if they try the first roster back again or not. EG, some work to do on the 100 Thieves side. Obviously, 7 and 11, not the scoreline they really wanted, but some of that was the old roster as well. There can be some light at the end of the tunnel. We'll see how their playoffs go as well, up from the 7th seed. Now it's time for us to step away. When we return, we will have Cody Sun for the Verizon postgame interview. Stick around.
keep moving on.
Welcome back to the LCS, everyone. Here with a Verizon post-game interview alongside Cody Sun after a convincing performance from 100 Thieves. First of all, I want to get your reaction to how that game went, because it's got to be a great feeling having such a convincing performance going into playoffs.
That game went really fast, and I didn't really have too much of a chance to just take a deep breath. It was just like all in one motion, and I was pretty surprised by how fast the game went.
Yeah, and as swift as it was also a game that you went into with a bit of security, knowing that you're going into the playoffs after this. So considering where 100 Thieves started at the beginning of the split and the roller coaster it has been, how did that affect you going into this week of matches?
So I think our team is definitely a really strong contending team right now. For us, it's just about finding that consistency and making sure that each game that we play, we give it our 100% and to be focused as well as to be aggressive. And I think sometimes that works out really well, like today, and then sometimes it doesn't look as hot. But I think with each game that we play and each scrim that we play as well, we're just getting closer to being more and more consistent with it.
There's a couple things I want to dive into with that consistency. The first one being, we were talking on the desk about Ssumday and how while the Ornn performance was good, him needing to be on something with carry potential, obviously very strong on the Camille. Do you feel that part of 100 Thieves victories are dependent upon Ssumday in the top lane to that extent?
I definitely think Ssumday is a very strong point that, maybe an advantage that we have over a lot of the other teams. But I think we also when we are playing well, we're using him really well as well as everyone else on the team. So I think it's definitely it definitely feels like a team effort when we take these wins.
And part of that team effort does come from you as one of the veterans of the squad. You have playoff experience. And when we look at 100 Thieves, we look at the new players, but we also look at the role that you and Ssumday play. I know he's been outspoken on a feeling that he has to take this leadership role because of his tenure on the team. And I'm curious as to what role you feel that you play within 100 Thieves and the development of these other players to get to this playoff potential.
Yeah, so I think when, I was just starting off and just having only 1 or 2 years experience in the beginning, I relied a lot on the veteran players on my team to sort of give me not only direction in the game, but this sense of calmness that we got this game even if we're behind or if we're ahead, we're making sure not to make too many rash decisions. So I definitely want to help bring that sort of mindset to the team that I'm on right now, and make sure that we're kind of just focused on the next step and not be too desperate in the way we play.
And the last thing to you is, this may be the last time we're speaking to you before we go into playoffs. For all of those that have been tracking this journey for 100 Thieves, anything that you have to say to the fans out there?
To all the 100 Thieves fans, just know that we're definitely a very dangerous team going into playoffs. I think for any team right now to go against us in playoffs, it's we don't really have anything to lose, and the way we play is so aggressive and sporadic. It's really hard to prepare against us. So yeah, we're just gonna go all in every game that we have and just try our best to make a run in playoffs.
A play style to keep us on our toes. Cody Sun, thanks for talking to me today.
No, thanks for the interview.
That's the first game in the bag, everyone. So to break that one down, let's send things over to the State Farm analyst desk.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, the Tigers. 100 Thieves with their fastest split of the game. They're going to close it out with their fastest one of the split, and they do it to lock 7th. Ssumday carry. Let's go.
Oh, it smacked down Evil Geniuses. It wasn't close. It really was just such a lopsided win. And this is how it all started. This is honestly just makes you weep if you're the bottom lane, because your team is willing to double TP the second you get ganked and help you out. You get a double kill from this, taking out the jungler. Your jungler's there. Like, this is just elation from Cody and the Poome gang.
Yeah, I mean,
this is the
Game
Camille
over.
Galio. This is ridiculous. The Rage Cage, there's not really any escape at this point, and this is why the combination of the champions is so good. So, I don't know. After the early game Camille getting kills, this is just going to keep happening.
This is what they ran against C9 and beat them.
It's such a good comp overall. I mean, I think they had the Olaf in the C9 game, but the Nidalee performs in a similar way in the early game. You have the Camille Galio for that insane combo, plus the Ashe for the engage, and the TK can also ult people around, like you saw them getting involved in that Rift Herald fight. And then it wasn't like EG was playing well either, if we're going to be honest. Like, you saw how poorly played that dive setup was by Huni, basically killing himself before the dive even started. So this was a bit of column A, a bit of column B in terms of 100 Thieves playing really well, and EG not showing up at all.
Yeah, Bang and Zeyzal may be the two lone bright spots, even at, you know, finding a kill back and trying to make something happen, but all for naught in the face of what was pure dominance from the side of 100 Thieves.
But yeah, I want to give some kind of credit to EG. Like, we talked about Huni when he doesn't get resources, how much better he is. I mean, they pick Shen for him. That's a classic island top laner, so get away from him. So I think EG had the right idea, but again, if you play red side against, or blue side against 100 Thieves, it just opens up the chance for Ssumday to play these carries. So I think this is kind of, you know, the dream scenario. They pick a tank who has a lot of counter picks like the Camille. They already got the Galio, which is a big compliment to Ryoma. So the whole combination in the end is like really just a great draft.
Hang on, are you saying the dream scenario for Ssumday is him on the carry?
No. Oh, no.
Because there is a list here
Get it out of here.
that
Get
says
this
that
blasphemy out
you
of my
should
sight.
play him as a carry. And this week we saw him on both a carry and a tank, guys. You're making fun of the defensive
hold on.
stats.
His tank
Guess
play was
what?
great.
Guess
Oh my
what?
gosh.
He's better
Crumbs
as
is
a
too
carry.
blind. He's not watching games. On
He
blue
forced
side,
the flash.
oh
Did
my
you
gosh.
see that 49%
that's-
forward percentage that he had?
I did.
That was amazing, and half of that forward percentage was him under the inhib turret of his opponent before 15
Big
minutes.
forward.
Very impressive carry performance out of Ssumday. Don't know if it was an 8. Maybe it was an 8. It's really the 3 that we have a problem with, pros,
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
we're
it's
being
fine.
honest.
He's great carries.
Either way, 100 Thieves, they get it done. They're going to lock in 7th. EG is locked into 6th when it comes to standings and the postseason picture. We're going to step away. Game 2 coming up after the break.
Fastest split of the game.
Did I say that?
Yeah, I'm married. Doesn't matter. You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning. Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis? Hey, do they ever ask you what you're wearing?
Yeah.
Red sweater, button-down shirt. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.